Okay, welcome everyone to the next Blender tutorial. So today we're going to be doing a perfume bottle with a little bit of a difference. I think last time we did a square perfume bottle and then we did kind of like a round one, as I believe. We're going to do a round one again, but we're going to do kind of like an oval. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the default cube. Let's go ahead and change our render engine from Eevee to cycles. And I'm going to go ahead and add, let's go with a circle. I'm going to press S to scale. You can go ahead and just like move it to the next square just there, so we've got the same size. And what I'm going to do is let's go to edit mode. I'm going to go F for fill. I'm just going to go ahead and split the atom right here. So we got a side view so you guys can see, and then of course we've got the regular view right here. So we're not going to need this bit just for this part. Let's go E for extrude, S for scale. Just bring it out. Gonna go E for extrude, bring it up. Just give it that nice little bevel just around the bottom because we are working with glass here. We're gonna go E for extrude, bring it to the middle. Kind of make that nice little teardrop just at the bottom. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go ahead and bring this in. So we can start off with a nice big base right here. And then we can go with S for scale, bring this in. And then we're going to go E for extrude again, and oops, don't press A. Just go back on that one. Alright, S for scale. I just realised something right here. If you guys are following along, brilliant, because it means you've learnt something. But for me personally, I need to turn on those blooming key things. Right, so going on to the next bit, we're going to go E for extrude, S for scale. At this point, we will go ahead and round this off at the top with a nice little bevel. And then we're just going to go E for extrude and just bring this up. So this is going to be where the nozzle is. So let's go with pretty straight. Let me go E for extrude again. I'm just going to go S for scale, bring this in, E for extrude, leave it where it is. And then we're going to do S for scale. But what we're going to do at this point is we're going to make it round again. So if you go 7 to heaven, click on the X-ray, we can try and get this back into a relative circle. So let's go ahead and just press S. You're going to want to go against the green line right here, which is the Y line. Try and make that as round as you can for the spray nozzle. And then we're going to go E for extrude again. Bring this up. And then go ahead and just give her a little bit of a bevel just on the top right here. As such. So now this will be the spout to where the perfume comes out. Kind of hold it by the sides and then come down on this one. So what I'm going to do, actually, let's make this a separate object. So this part that we've just made at the top right here, let's go with G. We'll bring this down. S for scale. And we're going to make a lip, essentially. So let's go E for extrude. And then just go ahead and make a little bevel. E for extrude again, leave it where it is. S for scale, and you're going to want to make like a little dish on the middle. You know, like back when we made plates and dishes and stuff like that? You're going to want to make something very similar to that. So let's go E for extrude and bring it down. So that is the external bit of the bottle. So now, because we have these two as one thing, we're going to have to do it as materials times 2. So what I essentially mean by that is we have the bottle right here. So this part right here is going to be metal at the top. This part is going to be glass. You can go ahead and kind of make this separate from this if you wanted to. But for this one, I made it as one so that it all kind of stays together. Because if we have this animated, we don't want to have multiple pieces and get confused with what's what. So what I'm going to do, let's right click shade smooth real quick. And let's go ahead and let's go to edit mode. I'm going to turn on the X-ray again so that we get everything. We're going to go ahead and select the faces at the top right here. So if you go onto the face part right here that's at the top next to edit mode, you can select everything right there. Let's go ahead and take maybe just about there. We'll go ahead into the materials tab right here. We'll go new material. This new material right here, you see that you've got material 001. We're going to go ahead and call that glass. So this one, It's not going to affect what we've just selected. This will affect the entire object at the moment, as we've not assigned a secondary material to this top part. So what we'll do, we've got the glass right here. Let's go on to the render mode just for the moment, so we can see that we've got a plain background. We'll go Principled BSDF, switch that out to Glass BSDF under Surface, and just take down the roughness. Now you can have this as rough as you like, you know, or as shiny as you like, depends on what you would like for your bottle. So now we have the top bit selected right here. We need to put onto the secondary material. So we're going to place the secondary material on now. Let's go to plus, and we have this new one that appears right here. We're going to go new, and this will be metallic. So let's go metal right there. You can use Principled BSDF for this, or you can change this out for a metallic BSDF. To be honest with you, Principled BSDF, you have more control over the metallic, but if you want metallic BSDF where it does everything for you, it's totally up to you. For me personally, I'm going to stick with Principled BSDF. We'll go with a nice bronze, just as such. We'll go with a high metallic rate, and we'll pull this roughness down. So we've kind of got a sheen on the metal, but it's not too much. Now, you'll notice that the material hasn't appeared on this. This is because we haven't clicked assign. So go ahead and just check assign right there. And if we go to object mode, we should now have a bottle with two separate materials. So if we go to render, this is what we should have. Now, if you've noticed with the bottle doesn't quite look like a bottle. So what I'm going to do, we have this right here. This part needs to go inwards. So this is the bit where I think like we should have done this as two separate parts, but to be honest with you, with this being a prop, it's kind of cool. So we're going to go to edit mode real quick, and what we're going to do, let's go to X-ray. You're going to want to select the face on the inside, so this one right here. So what I'm going to do is, let's go glass, and I'm going to go ahead, let me not get my words out today, and assign this to glass. So all of this now will be glass. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go E for extrude. Just bring this down to the base right here. E for extrude again. You're going to want to scale this out. E for extrude in the middle, and then E for extrude again. So you're kind of following the contours of the glass. Now, let me show you something that I just did that you need to be aware of, because you're seeing me doing it like this and you think, oh yeah, she's got it. Only problem is, we're now working with a circle and we need to make this oval again. So when you get to this part right here, having a circle on the middles, it's generally okay because glass tends to be thicker at the top and the bottoms, but we need to make this an oval again. So if you go 7 to heaven, we're going to go S for scale, and you want to go ahead and just follow the way that the curve was on the original. So now we should have this nice little curve on the middle. We've got this nice thick glass around the edge. You can go ahead and press G if you want to and just bring that up slightly. That's fine. We're also going to check the texture that's coming through on this as well, so we can see that we shouldn't have a bronze here. So what I'm going to do, let's go into X-ray mode. Let's make sure that this is assigned to glass, and anything on the inside as well as this is assigned to glass. So you can go ahead and just select. If it selects anything on the outside, just click that off. Just use the little dots right there that are in the middle. You can also take this off X-ray, and you can just click everything off manually. For me personally, I probably would have made the glass separate from the metal, but with this one and it being a prop, you kind of just want two objects just in here. You could also combine them. So now, if we go to the X-ray mode, we should have relatively everything selected that we need. We do have a few faces that are out, but that's fine. If you go to, let's go to 1 for side view. You can go ahead and just select everything there. and then just click this off again. This is probably going to be so time wasting. Yeah, I definitely probably would have changed this and put the metal separate from the glass. But I think that's a learning curve for everyone, really. You get to see my mistakes and you learn from them, hopefully. The same way that I do. Oh my gosh. Right, okay, so keep that shift down. I will just go ahead and just click all these off. Yeah, because I don't want to be that perfect YouTuber that comes on here going like, oh yeah, I know everything that there is, because there's certain things that I don't know, like, you know, not everybody knows everything. It's like, you know, you can know everything about cars and somebody else could come over and go, actually, you're wrong about something, you know, it's happens. I don't think it's great, like, because if I'd have known everything and I was like, you know what, I know absolutely everything, you know, and I was that person who said like, oh yeah, I know everything, I think I'd be quite, I wouldn't say arrogant, but certainly, having that gap to say that you don't know something means that you're learning. It means that you're open to change as well. I think that's what we all need, really. Okay, we're nearly done with this. Oh my gosh, I'm clicking new ones. Wonderful, making my own job harder. Here we go, right. No. This is probably one of the worst tutorials I've done this year. Yay. Okay. Clickety click click click. Alright, so once we've got something like this and we've got the internal selected, let's go ahead and assign that to glass, because not everything was assigned to glass. I'm going to go ahead with the X-ray mode. Take this bottom face right here. I can ever see the dots. There's the dots. So we've got the base right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just follow the lines of this. Let's go E for extrude, S for scale, E for extrude, S for scale, go E for extrude, bring this down, and then S for scale. I think we're scaling across a thing there. That should be fine. Just make sure that you don't scale across any other axes. And then we're going to go E for extrude, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just round this off right here. Right, okay. So, once we've got a shape like this, let's go back to object mode. Make sure that you right click shade smooth, and we should now have something like this. I'm going to go ahead and add a plane at the bottom so you guys can see the refraction of the glass a little bit better. So let's go S for scale and just bring that out. And what I'm going to do, let's take this nozzle right here, so the metal that we have, and I think I'm going to go ahead and just like mess it up a little bit because I think it's too fine. Let's go ahead to the shading tab. And what I'm going to do with this is let's put some stuff on here. So if we go to add, let's go to noise texture, place this here and place the colour into roughness. And we should have some little bumps that come up here. It's even roughness or metallic for this one, as I remember it. Oh, here we go. So let's just move the scale up just a little bit. So you've got that nice little bronze look. Metallic up. I'm just going to make this bronze a little bit deeper. Okay, cool. Right, so once we've got this right here, we have the nozzle that's missing currently, which is going to sit over the top of this. And then we have the bottle itself. So let's go back to layout real quick. And let's make this nozzle. So let's go object mode. Let's go cylinder. G to bring this up. You might want to use X-ray for this so you can see on the inside. And we're going to go S for scale, bring this down. G, bring this down just to here. And what I'm going to do, let's go right click shade smooth. So we're going to need this to be the same tone as this one right here. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and shape it to begin with. We'll take the top face, take off this X-ray so that we can see what we're doing. Let's go E for extrude, S for scale, give it that nice little bump just at the top right here. And to be honest with you, you could probably press S for scale, just bring this across on the X-axis, and then go E for extrude and just bring this down into a nice little bump in the middle. So it's meant for a finger to sit on the top so that you can kind of do your thing with it. So let's go ahead and go Control R. I'm going to go ahead and just put a loop cut in the middle right here. Control R again. Go in the middle and then Control R. We can go in the middle here. And what we can do, let's go on to selecting faces. Let's select these 6 that we've just made. You can go E for extrude, but I'm going to go G to begin with. Just pull this in a little bit. So you've got that nice little spout. And then we can go E for extrude and then S for scale, just inwards slightly. So this is where the spout's going to sit. So the next thing we can do, let's go to add, cylinder, G, bring this up, R for rotate. You want to go by 90. S for scale. And we're going to essentially place this just on the front here so it's got a nice little curve. So if you shade smooth real quick, right click shade smooth, G, bring this forward, G, bring this down, and then we'll go S for scale again. And we're going to bring this inwards just to here. And what I'm going to do is go to edit mode, take this front face, go E for extrude, leave it where it is, S for scale, and then E for extrude inwards. So it looks like it's got a little bit of a spout. Now, what we want to do with this, let's do black with this. So let's go with, you want to go with the metal texture to begin with, and then you want to press plus for a new texture, and then this is going to be a black. And just click assign. So let's go back to object mode. We'll take this right here, drop down, choose metal. And this should have the same texture as this. Now you'll notice that these bumps are a little bit more closer than these bumps are, right? So let's go on to shading and fix that real quick. So we want something that's akin to this. And the reason why this is doing this is because this is a smaller object than this one, so therefore there's less surface area. So the effect is essentially being pulled into one area. So to fix this, we're going to make a metal 2, and it's going to be the same shade, but we're going to amend all of this bumpage that we've got so that it's uniform. So let's go ahead to the metal right here, which is just mid-screen. We'll go to new material next to the X, and we'll get a metal 001. We're going to go with metal 2, just to rename it. And all you need to do is mess around with the scale of the noise texture. So if we go ahead and just mess around with the scale of this, we should. There we go. So you want to go into the minuses a little bit, but you want to kind of try and pair that up to be roughly the same. You also notice that it's a little bit darker as well. So what we can do is we can lighten this just to roughly the same texture. You can have metallic down, you can have metallic up, depends on what you would like. You could also edit the detail, with this being a separate piece of metal. So you want something that's roughly akin to that. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and just amend this just slightly. So I think roughly there should be fine. Okay, so I'm going to make that just slightly lighter, just to match the tone. Maybe just take that roughness down just a tiny bit. Okay, so once we've got this, our bottle should look like this. I think that if you did some more detailing on this, you could kind of make this look a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more cooler. But to be honest with you, we're going to make the lid. So let's go ahead, go back to layout. We will go with, you know what, I was thinking like we could do a metal lid, but to be honest with you, I think it'd look nice if we had something that was glass. So let's try, I'm going to go with mesh, and I'm going to go with UV sphere. And we've got this add UV sphere at the bottom right here, if you guys can see, just in the, it should be in the middle of the screen, just at the bottom, or your left hand corner at the bottom. So we've got segments right here. We can amend the segments to go up, we can amend the segments to go down. And I think with this, we could have them up a little bit. And we can take the bottom out of this to make the lid. So. I'm going to leave it like that. Let's go with G, bring this up. Essentially, what we want to do is mess around with the bottom of the sphere. So you can have this smooth, you can have this bumpy, it's up to you. Let's go to edit mode. I'm going to go ahead and take all of the faces right here, apart from these two. I'm just going to go with E for extrude, leave it where it is, S for scale, and then E for extrude again, and just bring this upwards and inwards. So maybe you could do it like this, E for extrude, leave it where it is, S for scale, and then bring this up as a lid. So, if we go to materials tab and we go to principal BSDF, we can go to glass BSDF, take down the roughness so we've got that nice little shine going on, and then we go ahead and press G, bring this down. We want the side view right here so we can see whereabouts it's going to fit. To be honest with you, I think this is too big. So what I'm going to do is just press S for scale, bring this in, excuse me, bring this in. We'll press G, bring this down. S for scale, and I'm just going to go ahead and just place it up against the edge there that we've made for the top of the bottle. So now, when we see this, we should have something that looks like this. Nice little posh perfume bottle. So, I think we should make some amendments to this glass. I think I'm going to make some nice little funky stuff. So I'm going to go with, let's go edit mode. I'm going to go ahead and press Control R. So we've got this nice little loop cut in the middle, and then I'm going to just roll the scroll wheel. So you need the scroll wheel right here. Roll it. So you've got this. And what I'm going to do, let's go to sculpt mode. I'm going to make some nice little kind of funky pivots and bumps. So let's take the front right here. Just amend the size just slightly. And I'm just going to push the glass just inwards ever so slightly. So you don't want something like this. You see that you have this right here? This is because it's interacting with the inside of the glass. So make sure that when you do it, it's very subtle. Then when we go to this side, we can do the same. Kind of just push that in a little bit. I think that's cool. Okay, let's go back to object mode and see how that looks. You have this push in the middle of the glass. Now, to be honest with you, I want to finish this off with a nice little liquid on the inside, maybe something pink. Pink generally kind of looks good with this, or purple. Let's see. So, and then we can amend this as well. We can make this slightly toned as well. Let's see. I really need to sneeze. If I suddenly sneeze, I'm so sorry, but like my nose is like, oh, something's really irritating it today. So let's go ahead and add cylinder. Cylinder might be best for this. We'll go ahead, right click shade smooth before we begin. Let's take this off render so we can see what we're doing and maybe place this on X-ray. I'm going to work with the side view right here because I think that that's going to work best. Let's go with G, bring this in, just sit it on the bottom. You want to go ahead and scale it down to the base of this. So if we can do wireframe real quick, S for scale, press G, bring this down, and you just want it to sit and fit on the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let's go with 7:7. Make sure that the entire object is selected, and we're going to go ahead with S for scale and scale this outwards to the side so that it sits and fits nice and neat. So you might need to go to view at the moment. I think side view is on the left, so maybe we want to go to the right. Yes, here we go. So we have the left view and the right view right here, should be correct. I'm gonna go ahead real quick. Let's go ahead and split the atom just once more so you can get this accurate. So you've got the side view right here, you've got the side view right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on to 7:7. Let's go to edit mode. You want the top face right here, so I'm just going to turn off, actually no, I need the X-ray for this one. Just try and select that top face right there. Come on, there we go. Okay, so, I'm going to press G to bring this down. You want to go, should be able to go S for scale, and it should go across the lines. Just watch your sides, just watch how you're doing this. E for extrude. S for scale, regular S for scale, don't put it to any axes or anything like that. Just go ahead and follow the inner line of this design. And then we're going to go E for extrude again, bring this to the top. You don't want to go all the way to the top because most perfume companies do not fill their stuff all the way to the top. And the reason for that is during transport, everything gets jostled around, and it's like a can of soda. So if you ever get a can of soda and you shake it and then you open it and it kind of goes everywhere, it's generally the same with products. What they try and do is they basically stop things from exploding. So they have that little air gap at the top. It's not because they're being skimpy with you, it's just generally because the products can't hold anything else during transit. It's the same with a bag of chips as well, or a bag of crisps, depending on where you're coming from. So it's, I think it's hydrogen or something that they put into the crisp, and I think it's like, for how many crisps that they have X amount of hydrogen because it preserves the crisps a little bit better. So, yeah, it's kind of like a really kind of weird thing that I know about the industry because I've worked in factories and stuff like that. So, yeah, the reason why they generally do this is to stop pressure building up on the inside because, of course, like, they try and keep it in a non-lit area, but at the same time, you know, stuff can go bad. So, yeah. That's generally how it works. It's probably not for every single product, but I'll probably leave a gap at the top here just to kind of facilitate that kind of understanding. So what I'm going to do is let's go to object mode real quick. Oh, baby, I have not filled that bottle. Look at this gap. Look at this gap. Oh, tisk. Right, I'm going to go to edit mode real quick. I'm going to go to, let's go with X-ray mode. You'll notice that I've managed to get this all the way around on the inside right here. Nice, neat and tidy. But look at this gap. This is horrendous. So what I'm going to do, let's select all of these. Make sure that you are... Oops. Don't want that one. Make sure that you're on the X-ray mode right here. And I'm going to go ahead. Let's... Probably going to want vertex more than anything, and I'm just going to go S for scale, bring this across, scale it outwards, take this one right here, box select, S for scale, bring this outwards, box select and bring this outwards, and then of course we've got the top right here. We're going to go S for scale and box select and bring this outwards. So now this should fit the entirety of the bottle. So, once we've got this part right here, let's go to object mode. I'm going to go ahead and go to the materials tab right here. We're going to want a nice kind of pinky purple think I'm going to go for about there. It's not shocking, but it's okay. I'm not fond on pink. But let's go with more metallic. Take the roughness down. And then just take the alpha down just ever so slightly as well. And what we should have is we've got the bottle facing that way. Let's go on the render for this one. We've got the bottle facing that way. And then the render for this one with kind of like a side view on an angle is this. So, once we've got this, we can go ahead and put some more lighting in. I'm going to go ahead and just go with the world settings right here just at the side. And change this grey background to a black. I'm going to go ahead and take the plane that we have underneath the perfume bottle and press S for scale. And then I'm going to go ahead and scale it out. So now we have this nice little kind of black to white kind of shading that's going on. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and unsplit the atom. So, come on. It's a bit fiddly to do. Oh, you're not doing that. There we go. Right. So, let's make that a bit smaller. Okay, so our main perfume bottle right here. I'm going to go ahead and just place the camera just about here. So let's go with view. You want to go align view, align camera to view. Click the camera, which is this little box that's just appeared on your screen right here. We're going to press G, hold the center scroll, and we're just going to move this back. And I'm just going to place it here. Because regular grid references, you probably have, I think it's 4 different lines. So you've got 1 line here, 2 lines that go across as well. You don't want anything central just here, because you want you to put the eye kind of like here. So, and then we'll put some more perfume bottles here with different colours and different tones in them. You could also, if you wanted kind of like a magical tone, you could put glitter inside of them, but glitter's kind of one of those things where I would say manually make the glitter inside of the perfume bottle rather than have, say, a physics do it. So we've got the bottle right here. Beautiful shiny bottle. We need to amend the lighting a little bit. So let's go ahead and just put that to the side. I'm going to go, like, the best kind of lighting that I can tell you that I absolutely adore is get rid of the original lights, and we're going to go ahead and add a plane. You'll see where my madness is going in a moment. Stretch it out, press G, bring this up, angle it just slightly, so R for rotate. Alright, there's method to my madness, just trust the process. Doesn't matter how much you rotate it, just something akin to this, yeah? So we've got our background right here. We can't really see anything. We're going to go ahead and take this little plane that we've just made. Go to Materials tab, New, switch out the Principal BSDF under Surface to Emission. And now you see that we've got this nice little lighting going on. Let's go ahead and turn up the strength. And we can see that the lighting is pretty, and we've got this nice little line going across the bottle so we can see the contours of the bottle. Now what I'm going to do is let's go Shift D. I'm going to go 7 to heaven to begin with so you guys can see the lighting. Shift D. And you can go ahead and do this manually if you want to, but I'm going to press 10. So we've got 2 lights here. If we select the both of them with Shift, we're going to go Shift D again. Now, because we've moved the first one over by 10, we're going to press 20. So now there should be 40 between A and B, B being the last, A being the first. You could also tint these, so you can have these as blue if you wanted to. Have a nice little blue tint to it, a nice pink tint to it if you wanted to. Red, orange, yellow, something like that. I might go, because this is a pink, with something that's opposite to it, so it kind of pulls that pink out a little bit more. So we have that nice pink and green. I think yellow and blue look absolutely amazing together. So, yeah, if you go for colours that are kind of opposite on the colour wheel, it does pop it out a little bit. It gives it that kind of 80s look. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make the surface at the bottom, this plane that we have right here, I'm going to go to shading. So make sure that you've got the plane in the background selected. New material. And I'm going to go ahead with add. Let's go Veroni. And we'll stick that into the roughness. So when we render it, let's see. Let's scale this up. Sorry if you've got epilepsy, it's I can't really. Just look away a minute. So essentially what you want to do is just scale this up to about here. You'll see that we've got all these kind of lines and stuff on there. You can press S for scale and just scale this down if you wanted to, if you wanted more of a tighter pattern. Yeah, if you've got epilepsy, you can open your eyes now, it's fine. Let's go to render. I'm always like really cautious about putting effects on here sometimes, because I'm kind of like, you know, does my audience have epilepsy? And sometimes things flash, and you know, yeah, you get where I'm going with that. This is probably a really good background. I'm gonna go with metallic, maybe just pull this up a little bit so we've got more of a pattern just coming through that. I think that's too much. I think a little bit more lighting and this should look pretty good. So I'm going to go back to layout. Let's go with the lighting that we have. I'm just going to go S for scale, just to scale it down a little bit. So we can see that curve in the glass. And then I'm going to go Shift D. You can go on this side if you want to with these lights. Obviously we did plus 40, plus 30, plus 20, plus 10, whatever like that. If you want to go to this side, you're going to be plus. If you want to go to this side, all you need to do is press minus. And then we're going to go with 10. I think, no, 40, 40. Minus 40. That should come out on the exact same side, I believe. So now we have this nice little lighting going on. We can go ahead and mend this upwards a little bit. I'm going to go with the glass right here. On the... Let's click the glass. IOR, you can change the glass preferences. So if you go up a little bit, it will change. Hold on. The glass is something like this. Oh, we're going to metal. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just re-amend that. Click the glass tab. I thought we were on glass. Let's go IOR. And let's just pull this down just a little bit. So, we've got something like this. Just 1 second. Go. Right, I'm back. Let's go with this. The IOR, let's go downwards just a little bit. So we've got that nice little glass curve just on the inside. I'm going to go with some lighting just from the side as well, just to kind of bring this material up. Let's see, let's go to add, plane, S for scale. Press G to bring this up, and then go ahead and rotate that again. Let's press G just to bring this down. S for scale. And I'm going to go ahead and just blast some light this way. So I'm going to rotate this just slightly. G, just move this across. You kind of want to come in at a nice little angle, just like an offset angle. Let's go with new. We'll change principal BSDF to emission. You've got a white coming in with this one. You can kind of just see where we've put it there. I'm going to go ahead and just improve the strength a little bit. You see how it's not exactly direct? It's just a little bit direct. Oops. There's kids screaming outside. That doesn't sound great on the audio. Yeah, so we've got this nice little lighting right here, this nice little lighting at the top. We can go ahead and make another bottle if you wanted to and change the material in there. So let's just go ahead and take this off render. I'm gonna go, let's go one for side view. All you're gonna need to do is go onto this, go onto X-ray, make sure that you select everything. Let's just come out again. We're going to go Shift D, duplicate this across, and then we'll go ahead and Shift D this again. So now we're going to be making different tones within these bottles. So let's go to there. We're going to go with X-ray. Let's go with a blue for this one. So we're going to take this. You can see that it's pink right here. We're going to go ahead, and because we want the same material with this one as we do with this one, we're going to duplicate the material. So right here, I'm going to call this hot pink. Excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and let's duplicate this. So we've got a hot pink 001. Which is the duplication. We're going to go with, let's go ice blue for this one. Change the pink to a nice little blue. So let's go on here. You can see this is rendered. You got the pink one, you got the blue one, and then we've got this one. I may add a little background to the back of this actually, just to kind of pronounce some of those tones a little bit more. So now we're going to go for the pink one on the inside here. If you can't select it via the render, go to the side one here, and we'll go with X-ray again. So now we've selected the third one. For this one, we'll duplicate the hot pink. And for this, I think we'll do, I don't know, we've done pink, we've done blue, maybe yellow, maybe is yellow a good colour for a perfume though? That'd be questionable if I picked up perfume and it was yellow. Okay, maybe an orange. Let's go with orange. So orange for this one. Change that hot pink that we have and change that to kind of like a yellowy orange, like a gold. I don't know whether that looks better actually. It's questionable. Okay, so yeah, we have these nice little tones. What you can do with the glass up on here as well, which would be really neat. And what I'm going to do actually before I do this, let's take one of these bottles, just box select it, and this allows me to do it. Come on. Okay. Yeah, box select. Okay. Just going to click off that background right there. And I'm going to go ahead, just press Shift D. I'm going to move this backwards into the back. So we've got kind of an empty one, or a regular one. Let's take the top lids of all of these, and let's go ahead and change them to different tones. So at the moment we've got glass. So we're going to name this as glass regular. Let's go ahead and press plus. Oh, sorry, not plus. Let's go ahead and minus that plus. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. So now we have glass regular 001. We're going to go glass pink. Yeah, let's change this texture to pink. Just a slight off texture. Just try and match that up. If you want the exact same colour as the material right here, so if say we had the liquid right here that we have selected, this pink, if we have the hex right here, it's E7419AFF. Now, if you took that and wrote it down, or you could copy and paste if you can, we can then click the lid and we can place in the exact same colour onto this. So maybe I'm just slightly off, but we've got the EFF kind of thing going on. So that's totally up to you what you want to do with that. We can go for the second one here, and this one, this lid right here, where my computer catches up. So we've got glass regular on this one. Come on, there we go. We're going to duplicate this one. We got glass 001. We're going to go glass, and we're going to go blue. Let's change the colour right here to a nice little baby blue. The third one that we have, let's go ahead and change this to an orange or a nice little gold. So we're going to go ahead, duplicate the glass again, and we'll go glass gold. And then go ahead and just kind of match that tone, match that texture right there. So now we have a series of perfume bottles. Let's go ahead and just amend the camera so we can see all of these. So click the camera, press G, just bring this up. And to roll it back, we're going to press G and move the cursor backwards. So we should have something like this. So now, given that we've done all of that, we should have something akin to this. Now you'll notice that the background right here is a little bit dark. So this dark part right here on the liquid is actually the background. So if we go to the world settings, we can see that we made this black before. We can now amend this and pull this up. So now we have something like this. Alternatively, you could build a wall in the background, or you can make this grey, just to kind of pull that colour in just a little bit. So you've got that nice little reflection between the plane at the bottom and the ceiling. And then you've got all your lighting going across the top. To be honest with you, this base, I feel we could change the tone on this. So let's go to materials. We've got kind of like a white base that's kind of shiny. But I think that we should have like a nice little kind of cream, maybe. Just to pull that outwards just a little bit. And what I'm going to do, this bottle at the back, I'm going to take the liquid out of it. So you can see what the bottle looks like just as a standalone. I think it's too light. The background is way too light for this piece. So let's go ahead. You can make this slightly more metallic just to kind of pull that detailing out a little bit, or we can go ahead and amend this and make this a little bit of a darker tone. Now if we make this a little bit of a darker tone, what we're going to have to do is up the lighting. So let's make that kind of a grey. Let me just move across just for 1 second. Okay, so and I'm going to pull the strength of the lighting just outwards a little bit. And what we can do as well to make this look a little bit more realistic, we'll go to the camera settings. We're going to go to depth of field, check the box on depth of field, click the icon, the little droplet icon on focus on object, and we're going to go ahead and select the blue one. Go ahead and pull f-stop all the way to 0. And you'll see that with the f-stop, all of this blurs in the background. If we put the f-stop up, everything focuses. If we put it back down, everything blurs. So, because the pink one is in the foreground, it's going to blur. So we're going to want that nice little sweet spot between background being blurred and pink one being in focus. So, let's try roughly about here. And what we could do is just tone down the lighting just a little bit, just to pull some of those colours, I guess you could say. But to be honest with you, depending on the lighting that you want, depending on what you would like on this piece as well, is totally up to you. So I'll leave the tutorial at that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have fun. Bye.